Hollywood Cop is a movie that was released in 1987, written and directed by Amir Shervan, and if you're wondering who that is, it's the same guy who did Samurai Cop and a few other movies, which I'm sure I'll get to at some point. You're going to see some similarities to Samurai Cop throughout this movie, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Well, it's not a bad thing if you like bad movies. So let's just jump right into this thing by taking a look at the poster. Now I have to say, this is a pretty cool looking poster. It's got some neat artwork going on here. And also, I gotta admit, it's pretty accurate. I mean, a lot of the times on this show, when I talk about a movie poster, I'm usually ripping into it because it's a terrible representation of what actually happens in the movie. But all of this stuff actually happens, surprisingly. There's also the tagline here: raping, robbing, kidnapping, killing, the action never stops. Well, I have to say, this is actually true. All of these things happen in the movie, so there's really no exaggerating going on here. Again, surprisingly. So the movie starts with a bunch of henchmen waiting for their boss, just like in Samurai Cop. Now, one of the henchmen is named Animal.
Hey, Animal. You gotta understand, Animal.
I know, he tried to take me to bed yesterday.
He did.
He tried to have sex with you. Well, I guess now we know why he's called Animal. What a madman. Who could imagine a man who wants to have sex with a beautiful woman? That's just... So Animal goes after one of the other girls, but the bald henchman says that she's with him, and then grabs her hair to, I guess, represent that. After a quick scuffle, Animal sits back down, but then lunges into her, and the bald guy does absolutely nothing. So then the boss comes out.
Goddamn, get up, George. Come on, hurry up. Come on, straight next time. Smile.
Yes, I'm sure that's what he loves to see. Quick, the boss of our criminal organization is coming. Everybody smile. You know how much he loves to see those pearly whites. Now, the interesting thing about the acting in this scene is that the actor playing the boss isn't really reacting to what the other characters are saying. He's just reading his lines over top of the other actors.
Now, you got a complete layout of the ranch?
Every square.
Everything?
Every
you
square
know
inch.
it inside
I
out?
swear
thoroughly?
I can do it blindfolded.
You sure?
Positive.
So some of the henchmen have names. There's Russian, Spaghetti, I mentioned before Animal, who really just seems to laugh at random times throughout the movie.
Come on, man.
Hey, you keep...
Now the gang is going to the ranch, and it looks like they're going to ambush this place. This one guy is just so jacked up he can't even put his mask on properly, because that's what you want, to be running downhill while carrying a shotgun with impaired vision. But it's a good thing this crew of 9 guys came in heavily armed. You never know what to expect during an ambush. I mean, sure, this may look like a typical ranch. Kids feeding animals, people doing general labor, but you never know. Maybe one of these kids is hiding an AK in the chicken feed, ready to unload on your whole crew.
Lock. Open the door. Open the goddamn door. I want to talk to you.
Oh yes, I'm sure she'll believe that. Why wouldn't she? You just ran around murdering a bunch of innocent people. I'm certain this whole thing was just building up to a conversation. Probably over tea.
Your husband owes us $6 million. When you get it, walk on Hollywood Boulevard near the Chinese Theater, and we will see you.
So wait, you're just gonna have somebody standing around the Chinese theater waiting? Well, for how long? There's no time frame given here. You just said when you get the $6 million. Well, who knows how long that could take? It's $6 million. So Rebecca goes to the Hollywood Police Department, and that's really the only connection this story has to Hollywood. You'd think with a title like Hollywood Cop, the story might revolve around crime involving movie stars or the movie industry, but no, the cop is just from the Hollywood Police Department. That's it. Now you might be wondering who Hollywood Cop is. Well, it's this guy, Detective Turquoise, whose friends and coworkers call him Turkey for short. Don't know why you'd want to name your main character Turkey in this situation, but alright. They call him Turk for short, so I guess that's okay. So Hollywood Cop meets up with some other police officers who are about to break up a rape and robbery, but just check out the ADR in this scene. His mouth isn't even moving when the lines come out.
By the time he gets here, they'll have raped the guy too. Come on.
And of course, as you would expect, the following sequence is filled with shooting, chasing, hilarious acting. So the guy whose wife was being raped finds this guy who was trying to hide, and just check out these moves when he takes out his knife. Oh no, better watch out. I'm sure your machete is no match for the switchblade shuffle he's got going on here.
Look, mister, I know this guy just f***ed your wife, but he's our prisoner now, so how about backing off, okay?
You know what, I gotta say, I think that's just a terrible way of de-escalating the situation. Now, you might notice some similarities to Samurai Cop here. However, this one takes it a step further and goes for the full decapitation as well. Hollywood Cop gets bitched out by the chief, of course, comes outside to find Rebecca, who I guess has been crying beside the hot dog stand this entire time, because apparently the police haven't been doing anything to help her find her son, for some reason. By the way, I should mention that Hollywood Cop has a partner at this point, named Jaguar. So Turkey and Jaguar volunteer to help Rebecca find her kidnapped son. The kidnappers keep Stevie in a room by himself with the door closed, and then send a dog outside to watch all the exits. Just a suggestion. But why not keep the kid in the same room as you guys, or at least leave the door open so that you can keep an eye on him? That way you wouldn't have to worry about the kid making friends with the dog and escaping through a door that has this as a lock and an open window right next to it. I'm guessing none of you really thought this through, did you? After a while of chasing down the kid, they slap him up viciously and take him back to the hideout. Meanwhile, the group has a few drinks to start things off. Seems like a good idea, you know, keeping it professional. So then they go to a bar to get the whereabouts of Rebecca's husband, and for whatever reason, Jaguar makes a bet that he can beat these two ladies in an oil wrestling match, because I guess that should be the top priority. There's a child missing, but hang on a sec, there's $20 to be made over here. So they find Rebecca's husband, Joe Fresno, who seems to be living it up 80s style. I mean, how can you not be with those shorts? Turkey says they should bring backup with them to deliver the money, but Joe refuses, and Turkey isn't happy about it.
Guy's making a big mistake.
Please. Please. Do as he says. I want to see my child.
Rebecca, I don't like it, all right?
Please.
Okay. Let's go.
Wow, that seemed really easy. So Hollywood Cop starts looking for a guy named Mr. Fong, who's apparently the guy in charge of everything and owns a brothel. They go to the brothel, but they have a lot of trouble getting in without a membership. So after a while of arguing back and forth, this whole thing gets settled exactly how you think it would, by fighting a bunch of people, which finally leads them to Mr. Fong. And I'm sorry, this is not Mr. Fong. It's just, come on. Anyways, this guy gives them the whereabouts of Feliciano's house, which apparently has a martial arts training facility in the backyard, which I personally don't see any purpose to. I mean, you'd think being a rich crime boss, you'd have guards watching the entrances, yet Hollywood Cop basically just walks right in. And not only that, he saves the kid because, once again, they left him in a room alone. You'd think that they would learn from the last time he escaped. Hey, you know what? This time, let's watch the kid. Of course, it all comes to a climax exactly the way you'd expect. A giant shootout ending with shotgun versus pitchfork. Guess who wins? Now, I have to say, unfortunately, for many reasons, this movie isn't as memorable as Samurai Cop. but it does have its hilarious moments for sure. But just like Samurai Cop, the title of this movie doesn't really give you an accurate idea of what the movie is about. It kind of hides behind a technicality. I mean, technically he is a cop from Hollywood, just like Samurai Cop is technically supposed to be a samurai. I mean, by that rationale, I should change my resume to say award-winning athlete. Because my baseball team did win a championship in 1996, but still, it technically happened. I have the trophy somewhere. I don't know where it is. I lost it. Thanks for watching. He wanted to have sex with you. Well, I guess now we know why he's called the Animal. What a madman. Completely out of control. I'm just so triggered right now.